plug my system. 1 minute, please.
You have the floor.
Okay, I'm coming. Let me just plug my PC, my battery. Okay. Share screen. It's like you have to allow me share the screen, I think. Mr. Kala.
Okay.
Enable, yeah.
Okay, you can share.
Can we see it? Can we see?
Yeah, we can see it.
Yes.
Yeah, like I said, I apologize one more time because I just solved it. I didn't really put it in a presentable form, but I feel like I want to know if it's really what, like, the solution is what we are expecting, because this is from my own ideology. I just came up with it. So
yeah, but we would like you to use your video if you don't mind.
Okay, sorry. Can you see me now? Sorry, please. I forgot my video was closed.
All right. So what you do for the benefit of everybody, read out the question and then show us like the solution to the question.
Yeah. This is the question. These are the questions. Number one is quick statistics to show the maximum, minimum, and average. So I actually put the question on top of each of the solutions. So right here, I used the normal formula for minimum. I used for maximum and I used for average, just like mentioned here. So that was what I did. So this is my answer. Then we come to number 2. I actually skipped this one because I didn't really know what they are asking, but I showed it somewhere else, but I didn't highlight it because I feel maybe I didn't do this one. Then we go to number 3, sales by country with formulas. Here I used sum if. Do I need to explain the formula of what I did?
Please do.
Okay. Here I use sum if, which means if I double click now, this I use the, because they say sales by country with formula. So I use this column, the amount column, as the sum. What will be summed? That's what I use. That's the F column here. If you look at it, F12 to F311. So the formula of sum if, it's already here though, but I can explain it. First of all, you have to show the range of what you want to sum, starting from the criteria till the thing you want to sum. If it's the amount or unit or whatever, you take the full range. It's going to be like 3 or 4 cells, depending on how many cells it will get to before you get to whatever you want to sum. So that's why I picked the range. Then the criteria is here. This is New Zealand, that's the country. Then the column I want to sum. So that is the sum range here. So if you see, the range is from D to F. That's the range of which these two things are inside this range. Then the criteria is this A9, that is A9, and where the answer is coming from, column F. So you can see it's F12 to F311. So that is how I got this one. So in every one of them, you will see that you see that
It's outside.
The
Outside.
range, someone speaking. You'll see that the range is fixed, D12 to 3D311. Also, the sum column is also fixed. So the only thing that is changing is the country, which is the criteria of what I wanted to see on the other sheet. So that was what I did. I don't know if I'm explaining it right, but that's what I did. Here, it's the pivot table. I used the pivot table. I picked it from here. Okay. Then I filtered the country. Okay. Then if you see it here, I don't know if this place is showing because this is covering my view. Maybe I can minimize it. Aha. So here we can see what I did. The rows is the country, which is under the geography, and the value that is summed or counted is the amount. So when if you check this geography here, if you come to this one, you see the geography is the country and the amount. So this is it. I just picked geography and amount, and I got the sales per total sales per country, and this is the grand total. Then they say top 5. Well, now we have top 5 products, top sales per country with pivot. I think I did this one already. Now we're in top 5 products per unit, by cost per unit. So top 5 products with cost per unit. I think they are talking about, I think I didn't understand this question. So what I did here was just to show the top 5 units of the product. This is what I did here. I sought, so first of all, I filtered top 5 from here because this is power pivot. So I filtered, I did normal pivot table. I took this, like you said, I took this, it said from, I used this one. This is what I used for this top 5 amounts per unit. I guess I didn't understand this question very well. So I only did for the units only. I think maybe I should have multiplied with the costs. I think I misunderstood that question. So all I did was just to get the top 5 units of the product, which has the highest 5 units. I used the pivot table, and like I said, I filtered from here value, and I took the top 5. Then I sorted according from highest to lowest here. So that's why the highest is up and the lowest is down. So that's what I did there. Then at the end here, normally I checked, I didn't see it, but I didn't clean the data because when I was working with it, I didn't find any problem. So I didn't clean. But I checked it because it's not much, so I didn't see anything. So I think there are no anomalies from my side. Then best salesperson per country. So now here, what I did is, first of all, I brought out the 5 countries. This was done manually. I just copied all these, then I removed the duplicates, and I got only 5 countries. Then here, I used the formula called max, but embedded with the if. So I don't know if you guys understand this one, but what I did here is I used if. I will explain. I used if. First of all, I picked the country. I think D. Yeah, D is the country column. I picked the country. Then I said if the column where the country is, that's from D12 to D311. If this column is equal to this criteria, that's New Zealand, it should then comma, it should give me this value. And this value means it should give me the highest, it should give me this value, okay? But now we have multiple Switzerland in that column D. What do I need from this column D? I need the maximum amount sold. So for me to achieve this maximum amount sold, I nested the if formula inside a max. Like now on a normal, if I put equal to max, and I give the criteria of New Zealand, it's going to give me the maximum of New Zealand, okay? But I needed to make a formula that will be able to consider other countries. So what I did is I said, like I explained before, I said if the country column is equal to this criteria, comma, you give me, now it's going to give me in return if the value is true, it's going to give me the return from the amount column. That's why you see that this is D12 to D311, which is for the country column, and the result is coming from F12 to F311, which is the amount column. So it's going to say if this is true, it should give me from the amount column. Now, what is it going to give me from the amount column? Is the maximum amount that New Zealand has. That's why I have this maximum if, and I just explained this if. But now, this is an array formula, it's not a regular formula. So if you write this kind of formula, so you cannot just press enter, it's not going to say it. It's an array formula. I don't know how I explain an array formula. It's I don't know the best way to explain, but I believe maybe if we search it, we can understand. So now, before you can close an array formula, you have to use Control Shift and Enter. Now it gives you this bracket at the ending. That's to show you that the formula you are dealing with is an array formula. So that's what I used here to get the maximum sales by country. Now the real question is best salesperson per country. But before I can pick who is the best salesperson, I have to know what is the maximum amount per country. That is what I did to get this this maximum amount before I used another formula called index. Now I use index to match this amount. Wherever this amount is located, it should give me the value of the salesperson. Okay, so what I did was index. Now this is the salesperson column from C12 to C11. Okay, that's the array. That's the array that let me say the column where the salesperson is. Now I want it to match this amount, this E3. Match this amount on the amount column, which is F. So what it did was wherever the amount that was there, that's the highest amount that we just got here, wherever it is, it should bring out whatever value that is in the salesperson, whatever name that is there, it's going to bring it out. So that's what I did. It matched this amount on the salesperson column. That's why it brought this guy as the highest salesperson for New Zealand. This is for USA, this is for Canada, this is for UK, Australia, and India. Am I going too fast? Do we need to verify these formulas, or I should continue?
Please continue.
Because I'm very sure this is not what you guys expected me to do. I just did it from my head. I just did it in 2 hours because I was in
There
a
are
hurry.
several ways. There are several ways to.
Yeah, there are several ways. That's why I said I'm sure this is not what you expected me to do, but this was the best I could think.
Fine.
So then we have profits by product. Now this one we have to combine two tables, which is this and this. Okay, so what I did here, first of all, like I always do, I take the product under, where's this? Okay, profit by product. So okay, I removed the duplicate. I took all the products, removed the duplicate. So I have the total number of products here. Now what I did here, I summed all the 70% dark bites. I summed all their sales up here. So I just did some ifs for the range, the criteria, and where I want the solution to come from, which is the amount, which I've explained before in the other piece. I did that here. I summed the total sales for 70% dark bites, same I did for all of them. So right here is showing the total sales per item. Now here I did the same thing for the unit, which is this. Okay, this is the cost per unit. So I did the, no, sorry. This is this one, sorry. This is the one I used. So also I did use the same formula to get the total units sold for this item. That's what I did here. Okay, I got the total units sold for this item. Then I used the VLOOKUP formula to bring out the unit cost of this item. So which is coming from this one. The unit cost is coming from here. Okay, so I used the VLOOKUP formula here. Then here, what I did, I just multiplied the cost price and the unit to get the amount, how should I call it? The cost, the cost price. Now this is the cost price. Now this is the selling price, and this is the cost price. So this is the total amount of production for this 2,800 units. So this is how much they sold it to the supplier. Then how much the supplier sold, I just subtracted the sales from the cost price and the cost amount, and I got the profit. So this is this same formula I used to answer this. Okay, now this is for the whole item. Okay. Now they said that there was a question for dynamic country level sales report. So now I picked per country. I picked per country, and I used the same formula to sum all the items, all 70%, all the items, 70% dark bites. Let me just call one that are related to New Zealand. So it's not some if now, it's some ifs with multiple criteria. So I had two criteria here, New Zealand and 70% dark bites. So all 70% dark bite under New Zealand, I summed it here. The same thing I did here, some ifs for the unit, how many units that was sold for this item in New Zealand. Then I used the VLOOKUP to bring the amount of the item, the cost, unit cost. Then here I just multiplied like I did before. I multiplied the amount with the units. And here I did the subtraction to know if it's a profit or loss. And here I did this one is the status. What I did here, I used the if formula where I said if this profit column is less than 1, which is 0, it should, for the true value, should give me a loss. But if it's not true, it should give me profit. So that's what I did here. And after I did this one, you can see this is less than 0, this is more than 0. So I did the conditional formatting. I will show 2 conditional formatting. This first one, I used format cells only. Format only cells that contain that whichever cell, let me see cell, it's one of this one. Whichever cell value is equal to loss. Now this is fixed. If there's any error here, it's not going to see it. So you have to make sure that whatever you write here should be the same thing here. Okay, so wherever the cell value is lost, it should give me a red paint and the white format paint. So I did also for profit, the same formula. If it's profit, it should give me a green and bold format. So that was the conditional formatting I did here. Like I said, I felt I answered this one there, but I don't know if it's what was expected. So that was what I did here. So it's the same thing I did for all the countries, just the same formulas, just change the criteria only. So that's what I did for all the countries. I was able to get which of the products were sold on loss and which one were sold on profit. So the final question is which product to discontinue. So I went by country. This is just manual. I didn't make any formula here. So for New Zealand, mint, chip choco, almond choco, they are selling on loss. In USA, these are the items selling on loss. In Canada, UK, Australia, and India. So this is what I did. If there's any advice, maybe I should do it in another way, like a more presentable way. I can redo and represent, but I just wanted to show this to see if there's any advice for me. Although I know I'm not prepared, but I needed to show to get more clarification. Thank you very much.
Okay, that's all. Please let's give him a round
Yes.
of applause. This is awesome and this is superb. Very nice presentation. Okay, so before we are going to have some questions. We first give it to the house, the other students. If they have questions for you, they will ask. Then the instructor will also ask question and give our contribution before we call the next person. Okay, so do we have anyone that has question? Josephine, Chinyaka, Mr. Koka, Muslima, please ask question. During your own, they will ask you question. So please ask question now. He's on the hot seat. Don't be afraid. I'm expecting hands here. People are not beating up their hands. Andrew, Sheyi, you can also ask question though, so that I will not ask you question during your own. Okay, you did not see any hands up. Okay. Okay, so I have this routine here before Mr. Lawrence and other asks. Firstly, on the best salesperson by country, the essence of this is we don't want you to use anything manual. Everything should be automated. That's why we came for this training. So you can easily use unique. If you use unique and highlight the column, it's going to bring only the unique value for you. You understand?
Okay.
So
Yeah.
you don't need manual. Then I really appreciate you for this place. You make it complex. You did it in a complex way. It can actually be done in a simple way, but at least it makes you understand it, making use of the maximum and everything. I'm really encouraged there. Okay. Then another thing is that please, every other person on this call, there is no one-way answer to this. Don't look at his own and say, because I did not do it that way, I'm wrong. No, you understand? There's no way answer to this. You did it well, and it's very neat. Okay, so the last question I want to ask now is that with this now, I believe you have acquired a lot of knowledge, making use of Excel. So I want to ask, in your current role, I know you're a planner, and you will be making use of something like this. So how has this been benefiting you after the training? What are the to encourage others on the call? How has it been benefiting you?
Actually, let me say it like this. As a planner, you don't have you don't really have limitation to what you need to know, because you might go to an office and you realize that the HR don't even know what they're doing. So with that, you can easily understanding most of the things we were taught here, you can easily fix the format for the HR to use. I've seen that multiple times in different companies. So after saying that, I want to say how it has helped me. Initially, I have always been doing most of my reporting with Excel, and I didn't understand Power Query, I didn't understand Power BI, I didn't understand SQL, but I have seen people who make use of this stuff, and I've always been thrilled by what they do. Sometimes I feel jealous, like I need to know what these people are doing. But ever since I have finished this class, I now see things differently. Let me put it like that. Like, you can see what I did, right? This is how my mind works. I am used to automation that I don't need to be changing all the time. I need one thing fixed, and I just need to supply data to that thing, and automatically I'm getting what I want at the ending. So I have been able to achieve this by learning more about the Power Query. This is one of the thing I learned here that's really been useful for me, and also understanding more about the Power BI. These are two tools that is very good for my own profession, and I really appreciate that. So that's it.
Thank you so much for that, Mr. Tahir. Okay, Mr. Lawrence, do you have anything for him?
All right, so the first thing I have is for you, Alaka. I think we should simplify that question 5. Let's simplify it further so that a lot of people can grasp what we are trying to say there.
Question 5.
Yeah.
This one, yeah.
Top 5 product. I've seen like 2-3 persons, have issues with that question. So let's simplify it further, and then, in their presentation, whatever we change it to, let it reflect in what they are doing, or what they are going to present in the course of their presentation. Then to Tahir now, that column where you have amount, that column H, you can change it to cost price, so that at a glance, anybody that Yeah, this same sheet where you have
This
that
one, H.
amount, yeah, cost price, like
Okay, yeah.
cost price, then of course profit. So that anybody who sees it, because when you have data, right, you shouldn't be the only one that understands. If I see amounts, I'm like, which amount? But if you put it as cost price, it's easier for anybody to know, okay, this is the unit price, this is the cost, and then this is the cost price. Then for the anomaly in the data, let me just ask, what do you understand by like check the data for anomaly? What comes to mind when they say check the data?
Yeah, it means if there's like when you say we clean data, right?
Okay.
Whatever we're cleaning out of the data is the anomaly, which is not required or not useful or something.
No, that's not it. Anomaly in this sense is like an outlier, something that is way out of the norm. It's not necessary that you remove it.
Okay.
Right? Depending on what you are doing. So I'll just indulge you to please check through again and check if there's any data in all of the data, the one that is out of place. Maybe the data range you are working with is 100, 200, and then you have one that is maybe 900. That could be an anomaly. Or you are working between 100 and 200 and you have something that is -5 or something out of. So you can check for that.
Okay.
So from me, it's a nice presentation. Thank you.
I was thinking it's supposed to be in beautiful, I don't know, like a dashboard or something.
Yeah, this is nice. I mean, you're able to teach us, I mean, all the formula use. It's okay like this.
Okay.
It's okay like this. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so
Mr. John.
You can add me for the next one for me to finish the rest. Put me on 28 for the other one.
Okay, on group 3. Okay, on 28.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. We'll do that.
Thank you.
And thank you for coming out today. It's actually a good step. Yourself and Mr. Sheyi. Thank you so much.
All right. So I should stop sharing, right?
Yeah, you can stop sharing. Okay, so I guess Mr. Godwin, John, Ucho, do not have any question for you. Okay, because of our time, we bring in Mr. Sheyi. You have the floor now. Uche, do you have questions? Okay, please come up, Mr. Uche. Yes, we lost him. Okay, Mr. Uche.
No question. Sorry, please.
Okay. Thank you. So, Mr. Sheyi, you have the floor now.
Okay, sir. Yeah, can everyone see my screen now?
Yes, please.
Okay, so I'll start with the Excel.
Yeah,
okay. I'll start with the Excel. So from the data, the first thing I did was to check the data for any errors or anomalies. Then I brought out the data to another sheet just to make it look more presentable, because this is just like the question sheet. So the first question says,
sorry, 1 minute. Sorry. Okay, so we'll be having the third person too as well today. Mr. Koka will be presenting. So after Sheyi. So thank you. Sheyi, you can continue.
Okay. So from the first question, it says quick statistics like max, mean, and average. So I have it here. So I just use the sales, like this amount. I use it as just to do some quick statistics. So the max sales was $16,184. Then the minimum and the average. So I use the max formula, the mean function, and the average function to do this. Then the next question is the sales by country using formulas. So for this, I simply use the sum if function to derive the total number of sales for each country. So from this formula, I use the sum if function. So the sum if function was like saying I should getting from the data, the sum of amount for each country. It should summarize it for me on this table. So the formula simply says from column B here, from all the countries for column B, that is the summarizing all the countries in one column. Then if the country is so is equal to, maybe using New Zealand as an example, like B2 here, B2 is New Zealand, summarize the total number of amounts wherever the New Zealand appears on this column, summarize the amount that is corresponding to it on this column D. So that was just the formula I used. So I was able to summarize it for all the countries. So the total number of sales amounted to $1.2 million. So moving to the next question, it says the same question, sales by country, but this time using the pivot. So I was able to derive using the pivot table from this data. From this data, I was able to come up with the pivot table for it. Then, just to verify, I discovered I had the same total of amounts for using the pivot. Then when I used the formula I got the same answer. So then the next question says top 5 products for I use the total number of amounts, like the sales, to derive the top 5 products. Then using the pivot, I didn't use formula, but I used the pivot table. So I believe the pivot table will be able to do that. So I use this pivot table to get the total number of the amounts for each product. So, and I sorted it by amount here. Then I changed it to top 5 just to get the top 5 products. So I used the total sales, which is the sum of amounts to get the top 5 products that it's selling. So from here, I discovered that the caramel stuffed bars is the highest selling product throughout the whole country. So, okay, sorry, I think I used the profit here to get the top 5 products. I think I used the profit here. So moving on to the next, are there any anomalies in the data? So when I checked the data, I discovered that there was a row that had $0 in sales. And I discovered that there was another row too that had 0 units for the products in that particular row. So what I did was to remove, I'm not sure if I'm correct, but what I did was I removed the rows that had $0 in sales and 0 units. Then moving on to the best salesperson per country. So what I used was the pivot table. Using the pivot table, I was able to come up with this total sum of amount for each salesperson. So in India, I discovered that Gigi Bolin was the highest selling salesperson in India. And whereas in Canada, the same thing, Gigi Bolin. Then in New Zealand, Chess Bonner was the highest salesperson. So I did everything for all the countries. In USA, Ram Mahesh. In UK, Bar Fonny. And in Australia, Gigi Bolin. So using the pivot table, I was able to derive the total number of amounts for each salesperson per country. Then the next question, the profits by products. So to derive the profit for each product using the product table, the first thing I did was to summarize the total number of sales, for each product using the SUMIF function. So the SUMIF function simply says that if this particular product is in column, is in that particular column which has the sales, which has the product. So the formula should give me the total number of sales for each product. So using the sales amount here on the raw data. So I was able to summarize the total sales for each product on the products table. So I have it here. So when I check the total, so it correlates with the total sales I had before. So to get the total unit, I also use the SUMIF function. To derive the total unit for each product using the product table and also summarizing it from the sales table, which has the product and the units. So, and then we cannot get total profit if you don't have the total cost for each product. So the total cost is simply the multiplication of the cost per unit and the total number of units. So the total cost is derived from the cost per unit multiplied by total units. So I did everything for each product, and next is the total product. So the total product is simply the total sales minus total cost. So, and I already have my total sales here. I already have my total cost here. So I was able to get the total profit for each product after summarizing the total sales using the SUMIF, summarizing the total units using the SUMIF, then the multiplication of the cost per unit and the total unit to get the total cost. So the profit is total sales minus total cost. So I use the pivot table to summarize. The total profits with all the products. So the total profit from all the product was around $800,000. $800,000. Yeah. So the next question was to derive a kind of
sorry,
a sales.
Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, before you
Yes.
move, go back to that the last part you just.
Okay.
So on that column F, can you do the sum of the total? the down part there. Equals to sum
Okay.
if, then drag
Okay.
across. Equals to sum, sorry, sum, then drag
Yes.
from
Yes.
F2, enter. All right,
Okay, so
all right, yeah.
yeah, so yeah, I was not sure if the sales report is something like a dashboard or just a sheet that has tables, or but this is what I was able to come up with. This is what I was able to come up with. So I visualized um some of the pivot table that I already have here. So here the product that has the total profit was the E-Clears product for the uh product that had the highest profit. Then here the total sales by country. Yeah, I discovered that India has the total sales by country. Why? I think Australia has the lowest sales for all the products in the countries, in all the countries. Then here, the total sales per product. So I use the top 5 products to visualize this, and the caramel stuff bars as the highest total sales in all the countries. In all the countries. Then here I have the total units sold by country. So I discovered that USA has the total units sold, the highest units sold, and UK has the lowest units sold in all the countries. So yeah, I can filter by countries for each visualization. So if you want to check for Australia here, you can see that Almond Choco has the highest sales for Australia, while okay, it's for Australia has like 160, I think 1.6 million for total sales. 160 million for total sales. So we can filter for each country using the slicers here, and we can also filter for salesperson. For example, if you want to get the total sales that Gigi Bowling had, the total sales per product that Gigi Bowling had. So I discovered that the salesperson here he was able to sell raspberry choco very well in all the countries, and he was able to the units he used for he used the units most in India for all the products and the total sales that Gibolin had for each country. He had the highest sales in India too. So that's all I was able to come out with in the Excel task. Okay, I still have one here. Product to discontinue. So yeah, I'm not sure, but what I did use is not a formula, it's just a statement that since the Almond Choco has the lowest profit in all the countries together, like the total profits for all products in all the countries together, the Almond Choco had the lowest profit. So I believe the Almond Choco should be the product that to be discontinued. You can also discontinue some other products that are almost close to the total profit in for Almond Choco. Let me check the profits by product.
10 minutes
Yes.
more.
Okay,
So you
sir.
can move to the next one. Thank you.
Okay, so let me Okay, let me move to Power BI. So this is the visualization I was able to come up with in the Power BI from the data that was given to us. The first thing I did was to load, extract the data into Power BI, then do some little transformation in the Power Query just to check if the data is clean. Then I I I load the data on the Power BI dashboard. So from the Power BI, I discovered that that the total orders that was made was around 60,000, and the total sales was $29 million. The total profit from all the sales was $12 million, and the total cost was $17 million. So the total sales for each country, United States had the highest sales and the highest profits, while Canada had the lowest sales and profits. Then the total sales by year, I discovered that 2013 has the highest sales and profits, while the 2014 had the lowest sales per profit. But yeah, I think the 2014 data is not yet completed. That's why it has the lowest here. But if we were to use the first 3 years, 2012 has the lowest profits, while 2013 has the highest profits. So here, the total cost per year, I discovered that the 2013 had the highest cost because using it from seeing it for the total sales for each year, you can you can easily say that the total cost will be from 2013, while the lowest cost was from 2014. Then here, I came up with the highest profit per customer. So here, if you want to get here we have the customer that made the highest orders, that's Ashley Anderson, and the customer that had the highest sales was Jordan Turner. So here we can also derive the total sales by the product, each product. So here, the product that had the highest sales was the Mountain 200 Black, while the product that had the highest profit was also the Mountain 200 Black. So the data I can filter by country. I can filter by country here. This is for Australia. This is for Canada. Then I can also filter by years. This is 2011. The visualization for 2011. This is for 2012. Yes, so then so what I did, I extracted the data from SQL. Actually, there was no file given to us for this one, so I extracted the data from my SQL. I have my SQL from SQL Server. So I was able to extract data from SQL. So moving to the SQL task. So we are asked to create a table for an employee table using different table column name. So I have my employee ID, full name, manager ID, and date of hire here. Then I created the employee salary table, and I also created the change log table. So I use this script to insert the different data into the employee table, and I also inserted the data into the employee salary table. Then okay, yeah. So the task was saying that we should derive a a table that has the employee ID, the salary, and also the dates of hire from the employee table and salary table. So I use the inner join to join the employee table and the employee salary table to get the results. Let me see. Okay, so this is the result when I do this. So using the task said we should create a view. It says we should create to create a view. So what I did was I selected the columns needed for the view, and I also joined the employees, the employee table and the employee salary table. But the view was to create an employee manager salary. So when I did that, I'm not sure if this will work. Okay. Yeah, so the result was just a single row. So the manager that also had the staff ID, I used the staff okay, I used the employee ID and also the manager ID to get the column that had the same values, the same unique values from the employee table and the employee salary table. Yeah, so the second task for the SQL server was to create a report. So the report was to create a report that has the table that has the seller name, the sales order table. All this is gotten from the Visual Work GW 2017 database. So I used the inner join. I used the inner join to join the FATS reseller table and also the DIM reseller table to get the data needed for.
Sorry, please let me see that view again. The output for the view.
Okay.
John Don. Okay. John Doe, John Don. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Continue.
Okay. So I use this script to automatically derive a parameter for the report. So using this, I joined the FAT reseller and the DIM reseller table together. Then using the unique values, the unique column that release the table together, which is the product key and the reseller key. So after I did that, I uploaded the script on my SSRS, and this is what I was able to derive from it. So I derived something like this when I loaded it on my SSRS. So this is what I derived. This is the sales report. So we have the reseller name, we have the sales order number, the product name, the order quantity, unique price, and sales amount for 2011, August, from January 1, 2011 to the last day of 2011. That is 31st of December 2011. So using this filter, I can get the data I need for the duration of dates, the duration of years that I want to get for the reports. So going back to the SQLs, okay, this is my SSR. This is how I was able to come up with the SSRS report. So going back to my SQL, we are told to derive another report that has the sales order number, the reseller name, the order quantity, unit price, sales amount from the FAT reseller sales table, and also the dim reseller table and also the dim product table. So I use the inner join to join the three tables together. The three tables are fat reseller sales, dim reseller, and dim products table. So using the reseller key and product key as the unique value that relates the tables together. So also use the start date and end date and the reseller name to get my parameter. So after this, after loading on my SSRS, this was the result I came up with. This was the result I came up with. So the reports had the reseller name, the sales order number, the order quantity, unique price, sales amount for January 1, 2011 to the 31st of December 2011. So the last task on the SQL was to derive a table that has the first name and last name together and as full name, and also has the sum of sales amount from the fat reseller sales table. And I also joined the dim employee table to get the results. So doing this, I was able, this is the result I got from the formula I inputted here, the script I inputted here. So I concatenated the first name and last name together from the fat reseller sales as full name. So I was able to name it as full name here. And I also named the sum of sales amounts as the total sales here. So this is the results I got from 2011 January to December 2011. So that's all for the SQL and the SSRS reports. So moving on, the last one is the Tableau. So from the data that was given to us, so I was able to come up with, derive some visualization from the data. So this is like a profit report. So this is the sum of all the profits by category. So here you can see that technology has the copiers in the technology has the highest profits, while paper in the office supplies had the highest profits, and shares has the highest profit in the furniture category. Then looking at the profit by states, So we discovered that California had the highest sales for sales for all the countries. Then New York too had a very high sales, while Texas has the highest loss. So the loss that was made in Texas was around $25,000. Then here I have the total.
5 minutes more.
So yeah, I have the total sales by segments. So the consumer had the highest sales, while corporate consumer has the second highest sales, while the home office had the lowest sales. Then using the customer name, I was able to get the quantity and products from each customer, from the top customer. So here we have Caro, which had the highest quantity that was bought, the highest quantity of products that was bought. So that's all for the Tableau. Then I can filter for each visualization here. I have the year of order, the year. So yeah, I can choose 2015, 2014, I have 2016 here too. Then I can filter by region too. This is the visualization for central. This is for east. Then I can also choose all. Then I can also filter by category, which is the furniture, office supplies, and technology. So here, if I choose furniture only, this is what I'll get. So for furniture, you can see that California still has the highest profit for furniture. No, I think New York has the highest profit for furniture. Then Texas, Illinois had the highest loss for furniture. So the filter can help to make the visualization more presentable and user friendly. Yeah, so that's all I have. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for this wonderful presentation, Sheyi. Man, a round of applause for you. Thank you so much. You really, I mean, you nail it. Thank you so much. Because of our time, do we have anyone that has question in the house?
Yes, I have a comment.
Okay. Please go ahead.
Okay, Mr. Sheyi, thank you very much, Mr. Sheyi. It was quite
Yes,
a
sir.
lengthy one, but we finally got there. Okay, let's correct one quick impression. On your Excel, I have a problem with your formatting on the Excel, where the second to the last sheet, I think profit product or something.
Yes.
Good, this particular sheet. I'm supposed to, at a glance, be able to call out any figure you have here. So I think these your figures are not properly formatted.
Okay.
So please, for subsequent reports, you need to properly format the figures. Like I should be able to stay at a glance and see that, okay, one particular figure out the digits from the left or from the right. So please.
Okay.
Thank you so much for that.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Any other? Okay, so let me just come in. So mine, I mean, you tried. Very nice presentation, nice visuals, nice SQL, everything was well done. Okay. So the only one I noticed is on your data cleaning methodology. So there is difference between null and zero. And even if you have a null, you don't need to remove it. You don't remove data. When you're working on a real life data, you don't remove. Instead of removing, you can now decide to fill that data either with the mean or mode or median. You know, so where you have zero is a value. So when you have 0 unit, it means there is no unit, zero, but the item is still there. So when you are looking at some reports, it will still contribute to it. Okay, so that is what I was able to do. You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
All right. Yeah, I
Can I add something? Go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, Lawrence.
I still want to contribute to that zero because he said he removed the zero. So, you know, like inventory, like if you have a shop now and then, you know, you go to the market and you buy some items. Let's say you sell 10 items, right? You might go to the market and then buy 9, meaning that the other one is still part of what you sell, but at that point you went to the market, but you didn't buy that product. So it's zero, right? It means that there was no inventory for that particular product. So there's actually no need to remove it. Yeah, I just want to add to what Alaka said.
Yeah, what confused me at that point was it had 0 sales, but there was units there. So that was like you can't sell something without producing. We have the units used for that particular product, but there's no sales. So that was why I was confused. Then I removed it.
Please go ahead. John, you wanted to say something?
Oh yeah. That was Sheyi, right? That just finished presentation.
Yes.
Sheyi, you did a very wonderful job. I think when I see people produce what was given to them like this, even if it's not perfect, it gives me 99% hope that we are making an impact in the class, and that what we are teaching is really students are taking it, digesting it, and they are applying it. I think your instructors for the Excel, Power BI, they will be very proud of you. So keep
Thank
it
you.
up. Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you, sir.
I notice here that you have a $ for your cost per unit. You don't have the $ on your profit. You don't have it on your total cost. So I think it's important that when you are preparing your reports, you should make sure that you have some level of uniformity, consistency in how you do it. If it is money, let it refer to money. If it is numbers, let it refer to numbers. So if somebody is looking at the column that is for money and they see another column that is also for money, they should expect to see similarity, you know. So if you are using $ for the cost price, I believe you should also use it for the total profit so that they will know those are profit in money and the total there too. And the best way I would say you should do it is to put the $ at the top of the column name. So put it in front, in bracket, in front of or is it front or behind? Cost per unit. You can put a bracket and put a $ there. Then in profit as well, you put a $, or you just put USD. So if somebody reading those figures, they will just apply it to the symbol that you have at the top of the column. So other than that, you did amazing. Your visuals were very, very on point, and your SQL skill there is very good. It shows that yes, you did your work. You did your work. You're able to prepare your data source, and you're able to generate your prepare your SSRS report. So it's very, very commendable. I commend you.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Dr. John. John, you might want to talk about best practice for the SQL as well. Like the create and all those. It's better to be in uppercase so that we can, at a glance, we can separate your statement from. I don't know if you want to talk something about that, John.
Yeah, I understand. Can you flip there for a minute if you still have your management studio open? So ideally, Microsoft Transact SQL, it's not case sensitive, you know, but the fact that it put it in colors, it makes it even very beautiful too. But what Mr. Lawrence is saying is actually it's fine. It's something to keep in mind too. So you can use uppercase for your keywords for the reserved command that you're using.
Okay.
And then the user-defined words, because you are the one defining certain words there, those ones that are from yourself, that are not inbuilt on Microsoft, those ones you can use your small letters, you can use sentence case, as the case may be. So it is actually a valid point. It's a valid point. So when you're writing your T-SQLs, just try to put your commands, your SQL commands, put them in uppercase. And then your user-defined words, you can put them first letter in capital, and then other ones in small letters, depending on your use case.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
So in addition to that, indenting, we also use indenting to make your code neat and easy to read. Indenting, so you might need to look into that. So how to indent your code. As you have select, the next word that's coming under will be indented. I mean, you have it in paragraph. You might also look into that. So thank you so much.
You can also put numbers, right? Can put
yeah,
if you want. It's just something to this one is actually a back end. You're not submitting this one to anybody, right? When you are preparing your report, you're working in a back end with the SQL, but you may be your manager or your supervisor or your team lead that you want to just show to them to preview and say,
to
okay,
document.
fine. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, very nice. This is okay. It's not wrong, but you can improve, you know. So before you
Okay.
submit it, finally, you can put all those corrections and resubmit. Thank you so much, Mr. Sheyi. Okay, so
Thank you, sir.
you're welcome. Mr. Godwin, do you have any question for him before we bring in Mr. Coker to round up the section for us? Okay, Mr. Coker, we have just 30 minutes, 28 minutes now for you. Is it up to 28? Let's 25, so that we can use the 3 minutes to say the conclusion.
All right,
so, Mr. Coker, you have the floor.
All right, just a moment. Let me load my screen.
There's other people that will be presenting next week and upper week. We don't have up to that time because we have more people. If you have to have a short presentation.
Just a moment, sir. Trying to get my screen up. Please confirm if you can see my desktop. Hello?
Yes, we can see.
Okay, good. So I'll start with the Excel. Okay, good. So the first question asks, that's the Excel, asks for minimum, maximum, and average. So here you are. This is the formula right here. Max data F to F. This is our minimum. This is our maximum. Now we have two columns actually. That's amount and units. So I just assumed that it was better to present both. So here it is for the two. This is the average as well. That's the formula. Now, the next question was exploratory data analysis. Now, I had an issue with this question, the way it was coined, but what I did was to Google on YouTube how to present an exploratory data analysis. So what I did, all right, it actually has to do with a particular function, all right, and that was what gave me this summary. And from what I can see here, it only presented me with values of mean, median, mode, range, maximum, and minimum. Okay, so the next question says sales by country. Sorry, what's the question again? Yeah, sales by country with formula. So this is my formula. I use the SUMIF function to provide me all the sales of the country using formula. Now, it's
Sorry, on your
yes,
EDA, we're seeing a table beside. You did not explain that table.
No, please ignore that. Please ignore that.
Okay.
Please ignore that. Please ignore that. Yes. So I used the SUMIF. The SUMIF was what I used. Now, we're also asked to provide sales by country using pivots, which is exactly what I did. If you see this properly on the right-hand side, let me minimize this. Yeah, so sales by country, I put the location in rows and then the values in the columns. Sorry, the amount in the values. So this is what the sales per country is using pivots. Top 5 products. Is it top 5 products by amount or top 5 products by unit? I still used pivots. So that was what gave me this. Products for the amount. This is top 5 product by amount. This is a top 5 products by units sold. Now, you also asked for anomaly. Let me increase the fonts. Now, the anomaly I discovered was price variations across different locations, even though it's still the same products. So it says some products were sold for better returns, or at worst, linear returns, while others were sold for low profit margin. So what I'm trying to refer to is that what I noticed is that across various locations, a product was sold at different prices. That was my anomaly. Now, salesperson by country, I did that by pivot table as well. So in Australia, Gigi was the best-selling person. In Canada, Gigi was the first best-selling in India. Gigi was the best-selling person in New Zealand. Chess but pivot was what I used. Now, profit by product, still pivot table. Here it is. Here's the formula. Products on the rows, then sum and amounts. So here you are, you have profits by products. We also said using column Y. Okay, good. So what I also did, let me expand. So here it is. We're giving cost per unit and total units. We're able to achieve total costs. But the main table we're giving provided us with total sales. So the difference is what gave me this. So that's what I quoted at the top. Sales by country report. It wasn't so difficult. It was the same. It was the same formula I used for salesperson. The only thing I did was to collapse the table to give me dynamic country sales report. Now, which product should we continue? Initially, I said none. Reason because each product contributes significantly to the bottom line. So what I did was to use a pivot table. I did the total sum in amounts and total sum in units and vary the two. So what I'm trying to see is when I'm referring to the bottom line is total income that came in. What was the contribution of each product to the bottom line? And what was the significance in terms of units sold? But in all, the chart was able to give me a better inference. So take, for example, I said here, although some products, Almond Choco, Manuka, Bite and Co, had lower profit margins, the product with the worst aggregate returns, which is Almond Choco, should be discontinued, which is what was expressed in this graph. If you notice here, this line is the sum of amounts. So this is the product that is giving us the least amount. But guess what? Almond Choco, we're supplying so much units, but still giving us the lowest return. So if we're going to discontinue a particular product, Almond Choco should be the one we should discontinue. So that does it for Excel. Can I proceed to the other ones?
Yes, please. Yes.
Okay, good. What's the other one, sir? Okay, so Adventure Works. I'll just go straight to this one. Okay, good. So we were asked to create a database. Here's my formula. Okay, yes. Human resource. So I created this table and sorry, let me reduce this for better visuals. Okay, let me just continue. So I was able to create a table and we were asked to insert into the table this employee ID, full name, manager, and date of hire, which was done. Here it is, tables. All right, so so that was created, and we're asked to insert these figures, which was also inserted. This was also inserted into this was inserted into employee. This was inserted into employee salary, and we're asked to generate the following. Okay.
Hello.
Yeah, I think that could be his internet. Let me pause the recording.